Just up here at Eagle Creek Springs today, spending a quiet day. Nice fall. Looking at mushrooms. There's no spawning salmon yet. This is the major spawning area. And so far it's not inhabited. There's a bunch of fry in here. They're going to leave as soon as the adults show up or end up in the food chain. So it's quiet now, very peaceful. We've had a little bit of rain, so the levels come up some. This area gets two different sources of water. There's the springs coming out of the ground on the other side. You can hear them flowing out of the ground from here. There's also groundwater that, as the Salt Lake River Valley fills up with rain, it'll start coming into this creek and raise the level. We're up a little ways. This probably also, the creek has the culvert. And it's partially plugged by the beaver. He's got it about 70% plugged, so I'm going to have to deal with it. Get it open, make sure it's clear before the spawning adults come in, so that'll be on this week's list of chores. But hey, that's today's report. Enjoy this quiet time. I'll try to be a little quieter. Spawning season here starts in November. Usually Veterans Day is normally when I see them in a normal year. We've never had a normal year in the last 10, so whatever that's worth. But yeah, that's what I call the early run. Anything that comes in from Veterans Day to Thanksgiving, and then anything after Thanksgiving is the normal fall run. That's usually a lot bigger. Last year we had 50 spawning pairs of coho salmon in this area. But it takes 3 months. Every time it rains, atmospheric river, in comes a small school of coho. They spawn. By the time they're done spawning, it'll rain again, hopefully, and come another batch to spawn right on top of them. Usually build in front of the red that they have built. This particular little bridge, it's not a bridge, it's a wildlife corridor. I call it that. Put it in last year to get the crab trap out of the creek. A bear had taken it. We filled the crab trap up with spawned out salmon carcasses from the Salt Lake hatchery surplus. Put them in the creek for nutrient enhancement. As they decay down, it puts extra nutrients into the creek. Really good idea. Been doing it for a while. Using this crab trap, we can fill them up with these carcasses, sit them in the creek, and they'll last a lot longer than the ones that are loose because birds can't get to them. However, the bear did move the trap and put it in an area over there in the corner where salmon were trying to spawn, so I had to do something. It was an emergency. So I put this bridge in, this wildlife corridor, excuse me, so I could get over to the other side without disturbing the salmon, so I could pull the crab trap out so they could continue with their spawning of it. Very important. Pulled it out, was rolling it across the board, and a pair of coho salmon immediately moved up underneath it and started spawning. You can see that in the video, the spawning dance. You can barely see the shadow of it above them. But yeah, they used this as a protection and adopted their spawning red right here. So I had to leave it. And then more salmon, more coho. Kept coming, doing that. Eventually we had maybe 5 or 6 females right here in this spot spawning. So yeah, there's a success story. So that's why it's here. I'm calling it a wildlife corridor because if I call it a bridge, they'll get all panicky, the habitat biologist, because I have no permission to build a bridge. I do, however, have permission for woody debris. So this is large woody debris, actually small woody debris, hand put. It's not even touching the water, and it's a wildlife corridor. I'm going to put a name on it. I'm going to call it the Patty Murray Wildlife Corridor. That's my chore for this week, is to build the sign and put it on there, and then I'll dare any habitat biologist to tell me to take it away. It's a Patty Murray Wildlife Corridor. So, always got to be a step ahead of these doubters, if you know what I mean. Okay, so yeah, no salmon, no big salmon. So that's it for now. Thank you.